I'm going to show you in this video how to trade when you see a straight line move, and then how you can use AT in a drill down to put on a real-time trade. What I'm going to show you is the hardest trade to put on, both psychologically and really physically. This is a Eurodollar chart. It is June the 7th, 2022. You see we've been this pressure, all these blue lines to the downside. All of a sudden the market suddenly reversed. All you do is see green candles. We'll go back. That's a 30-minute chart. Go to a 15-minute chart. Straight up. Go to a 5-minute chart. Straight up. Until finally hitting some resistance over here. But if you went to the 1-minute chart, I'm not suggesting trade a 1-minute chart, but the principle is just keep scrolling down when you see those one-way moves. Look how many red lines you had. I'm not saying you would have bought against it. It's telling you it's a very tough trade. But rather than trying to fade a one-way move, especially when you see either all green or red candles, the way my charts are set up, you come out until you see this ladder. Look at this ladder, is actually quite tradable. If you had the gumption to be able to reverse from a down to an up episode. Point is, when you see a straight line, it's real money buying. No reason to pick a top until the amazing trader tells you to, or the bottom, as the case may be. But if you want to trade that, and you want to trade with the real money, just scroll down until you see an AT ladder pattern. In this case, we had an up ladder pattern in the 1-minute chart, which would have allowed you to trade with the real money. When in other charts, there were no places to get in unless you closed your eyes and jumped in, which is even more difficult when the market's basically bearish and all of a sudden the market reverses direction. So that's what I look at when I see a straight line move, and the debate is whether I want to go with it or not. If I want to go with it rather than closing my eyes and guessing at a top, I'll just drill down until I see a ladder pattern on some time frame. I just put on a long at 106.75.6. Ooh, and profit was taken. Well, that happened quickly. As you can see over here how that trade worked out, my profit target using a 1.25 to 1 risk reward was hit before I can even blink my eyes. Of course, you can see what happened afterwards. I had managed that trade, but I was sticking here to a 1-minute chart, only because when Euro started to dip off that one-way move high, I started looking for a level maybe where I could buy. And I went to a 30-minute chart, went to a 15-minute chart, went to a 5-minute chart. Stop was too far away. But when I got to a 1-minute chart, I went back and looked at this last red line before we made a high. Last ladder line, last AT line. So now I had a level I could put a stop against. I bought in here, put a stop below here. Target was hit very quickly. Had to let it run. You could see what happened. But the point of this is, and I'm not suggesting you trade with a 1-minute chart, but the 1-minute chart was the only one where I could find a level, an AT line where I could put a stop in. And in this case, I opted for that. I put the trade on, and you can see what happened. So that's what I mean about drilling down until you find some level on an AT chart, especially on a ladder up or ladder down, or in this case, I found a preceding line which gave me a stop. Normally I would not have traded off this line, but since it was the preceding red line ahead of this high, I thought it was worth a risk reward. And you can see the result.